Master only 2 out of these 6 self-learning techniques. Yes, only 2. And your academic, career, and life will go over the moon. Self-learning is an important skill to have if you are on your way to getting a desirable career, a diploma, or raising your social status and pushing yourself further in life. This is a widely known fact, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. 6 ways of learning, 6 strategies on how to redefine your learning mindset. Number 1, the Feynman technique. Yes, you have probably heard of this before. But hang on just a second, because I will show you how to combine this technique with ChatGPT. The Feynman technique is based on the idea that one of the most effective techniques to enhance our understanding is to imagine that we're teaching the material to someone else. The technique has been widely applied and promoted by successful students majoring in more complex fields of study, such as engineering, chemistry, neuroscience, you name it. To put it simply, the Feynman technique is basically teaching a 5-year-old a complex concept, like programming, without them running away in tears. The first step to applying this technique is to open a Google Sheet or Excel file. Create 5 columns, one for your peer or colleague, a graduated student, a freshman in college, a teenager, and a 5-year-old kid. Create 2 rows, explanation, and example. You probably guessed how it goes next. Start by explaining your concept to each group of people, and as you go, try to simplify the knowledge, either through metaphors or through examples that are familiar to that group. If you find yourself stuck in any group, ask the AI. This is where ChatGPT comes in. For those who don't know ChatGPT yet, it is an AI chatbot that allows you to have human-like conversations and answer your questions. Although ChatGPT doesn't always give you the correct explanation or example. It should only be used when you are stuck on a question. Because this stump in your learning process might lead to procrastination, you should refer to ChatGPT's answer to get your ideas going. Remember, always fact-check ChatGPT's answers. It sometimes writes plausible-sounding, but incorrect, or nonsensical answers. With ChatGPT's help, I'm sure you can fill in all the cells and master the desired knowledge in no time. 2. Strategize your learning. Learning is a skill that requires time and effort to master. You will need a plan. Barbara Oakley, Ph.D., the author of the best-selling book, A Mind for Numbers, stated that, whether you feel like a good student or not, we all have the tools to learn what might not seem to come naturally to us at first. The secret is to understand how the brain works so we can unlock its power. I have summarized her book into these 3 bullet points below for you. Number 1 is to develop a growth mindset. The best way to learn is to believe that your abilities can be improved through effort and practice. Think of your brain as a muscle, said Dr. Carol Dweck, author of the famous book Mindset, The New Psychology of Success. The belief that hard work and dedication will lead to success is very powerful, and it will be much easier for you to achieve great things with this in mind. Number 2, divide and conquer, or chunking, means breaking complicated topics into smaller pieces of information and starting with those first. To do this, you can examine the topic at hand by drawing a mind map like the one I'm doing right now. Number 3 is persistence. The key to achieving anything. Everyone encourages persistence and perseverance, but the value stays in the how. How do we persist? Persistence in relation to today's video is having the will to study every day, one manageable chunk at a time. Divide and conquer, like we just discussed a minute ago. Divide your large tasks into small chunks and tackle them every day. These days, there is an app for everything. Make use of them to help you to stay persistent on your task, even for just 10 to 20 minutes per day. This is also the next topic we're going to explore. Stay tuned till the end of the video where we connect all the pieces together. Number 3, know when to learn and review. When should we learn and review the knowledge we have absorbed? It is simple, we learn when we are about to forget. As we have discussed, if you want to own the knowledge, you should understand it thoroughly enough to be able to explain it to a 5-year-old. But to truly conquer the mountain, firstly, we need the ability to recall. This is where frequent revision comes into play. So, When do we revise? Take a look at this diagram. On day 0, when you start learning the concept, your memory is at its peak, 100%. Everything is fresh in your mind. As the week goes on, your memory starts to fade, and by the weekend, you can only remember around 10% of what you learned. If we follow this graph for a bit more, your ability to retain this knowledge will eventually be reduced to 0. Let's look at the diagram again with some changes. On day 1, when your memory is at around 60%, take a look at your textbook and notes. Practice in front of the mirror and start explaining the concept as if you're teaching it to someone. Congratulations, you just refreshed your memory on the topic and raised it to its peak again. Keep on repeating this exercise intermittently to make sure the knowledge stays fresh in your mind. Up until one point, the knowledge becomes a part of your long-term memory. There are tons of apps that help you combat this forgetting curve. Some spaced repetition apps I can name right away are Anki and Memrise. And if you're learning a new language, Duolingo, LingQ, and Pimsleur are my recommendations. On the topic of Anki, I will upload a video on how to combine Anki with ChatGPT soon, so stay tuned. By now, you have officially owned the knowledge. Now, it is time to turn that knowledge into wisdom. Next, interleaved practice. Turning knowledge into wisdom, or value, is the ultimate goal. Applying what you've learned to real-life cases and solving a real problem is tremendously impactful to owning your knowledge or skills. Learning by doing is the best way possible for any knowledge acquisition journey. Interleaved practice is a learning technique that involves mixing up the material being studied, rather than focusing on one topic at a time. According to a study published in the journal Psychological Science, interleaved practice has been found to be more effective than blocked practice at improving performance on a math test. The study also found that interleaved practice resulted in better retention of the material over time, especially for students who struggled with math. Blocked practice is a learning technique in which an individual focuses on one topic or task at a time before moving on to the next. So if you're trying to learn something new, find a way to practice it, even better if you can use it to solve a real-world problem. If you're trying to learn how to play guitar, study how to strum and pick your favorite songs. If you're learning how to program, build an app that you feel could solve your problems and others. If you're still attending the university, secure a position that is related to your field, so you can apply what you have learned in the workplace setting. Remember, practice what you learn and perfect it on the go. 5. Microlearning. Microlearning is a way of teaching and learning that involves breaking down information into small, easy-to-digest chunks. These chunks of information are called micro-lessons and are usually focused on a specific topic or skill. The interval between the lessons is also an important element. 2 scientists, who I will not try to pronounce their name, conducted research, link in the description, and compared the effectiveness of spaced-out revision to mass practice in terms of learning and retention. In the experiment, college students were asked to learn a list of words. The students were divided into 2 groups. Group 1 received massed practice. In short, they studied the list of words for a single, extended period of time. Group 2 received spaced practice, or they studied the list of words in shorter, spaced-out sessions over a longer period of time. The researchers found that the students who received spaced practice performed significantly better on the recall test compared to the students who received massed practice. The finding suggests that spaced retrieval is a more effective strategy for improving long-term retention of material compared to massed practice by 200%. 6th, mind mapping. Mind mapping is a way of drawing pictures to help you remember things better. It's like making a map of your thoughts and ideas. Mind maps can be helpful for learning and remembering because they show you the relationships between different ideas. They can have a variety of usages, such as making plans, solving problems, and brainstorming new ideas. You can make a mind map by hand or using the Xmind software. I myself planned this script on a mind map too. You can download this mind map in the video description. So with all the things above, How to put it all together. Imagine you are a student who is done with all lessons for the day. The first thing you want to do is break your lesson into smaller pieces. These smaller pieces are then broken down into micro lessons until they can't. Second, write down at least 2 explanations with examples of each topic, one for your peers, and one for a 5-year-old. Step 3, add the explanation of the topics on flashcards, which you can manage with Anki. Every day after that, make sure to consistently open Anki at, let's say at 10 p.m. every day, and review the flashcards. The Anki app will plan your reviews with spaced repetition technique for you. When you have reached the end of the course, draw a mind map of the whole course on Xmind to see the connections between all of the lessons. This is an overall review. You can print the mind map and pin it somewhere easy to see. Congratulations, you are on the right way to owning the knowledge and ready to turn it into your wisdom. Now, the final step, find a way to apply what you learned to solve a real-world problem as soon as possible. Thanks for listening. Remember, you only need to master one thing at a time. Good luck on your journey.